Hi, this is Steph from Belladonna Dyes, and today's project is going to be inspired by dyeing to retire. Start by smoothing out as many wrinkles as you can, and then decide where you want the center of your spiral to be. This one's going to be a center spiral. I like to come down a few inches from the underarm. I don't like it too far down on top of the belly button, but you don't want it too high up on the collar either. Give it a little pinch, and with the hemostat and the microwave splatter guard, I'm going to create the spiral. So I click the hemostat down on the first click. It does not need to be overly tight. You run the risk of tearing a hole in your center of your shirt. So one click on that, and then just give it 2, 3, 4 twists, and with your opposite hand, create the pleats and create the spiral. Don't put a lot of tension on the hemostat. Go around and around till you can't go any farther using the microwave splatter guard. Unclick the hemostat and hold down the center of the spiral and gently wiggle the hemostat out. I like to secure my spirals by using rubber bands, but you could also use kite string. It really is just a matter of preference. And for this particular shirt, I'm using my stretched out favorite rubber bands. They become stretched out because at one point I applied heat via my electric blanket, and these rubber bands don't bounce back to their original shape. They stay the size of the project. So I keep them in a separate little container, and they work out perfectly for these larger projects. Now I'm just going around, tucking in all of the loose tails to the nearest rubber band and creating a nice tight spiral. That way when I need to pick it up, flip it, move it around, whatever, it's not going to fall apart on me. Got a package, came in the mail from Beth Lambert from Dyeing to Retire Tie-Dyes. Look at that, cute. I definitely need to get some business cards. Let's see. Accepting requests for custom tie-dyes. Some available items are posted on my Facebook page, Dyeing to Retire, or email her at dyingtoretire@gmail.com. Then it talks about her washing instructions. Awesome. Oh, and a little like a koozie. That's cute. And look at her logo. Somebody laying on a hammock. I like that. Oh boy. And look at this gorgeous shirt she has sent me. And these colors are right up my alley, Beth. You know I love this. Beautiful. Is that Magenta Galactica? Jade green. Maybe some lavender. Hard to say for sure. And some turquoise. Love it. I love it so much. All right. Well, thank you so much, Beth. I appreciate it, and I hope those bottles worked out good for you during your event. It sure looked like a lot of fun in the pictures that I saw. So everybody go out and check out Beth, Dyeing to Retire. One last thing, so very rude of me. I forgot to open the card. Always open the card first, but I set it off to the side and I didn't see it there. So let's open it up. Beautiful butterflies. Some of you know I love butterflies. And some stickers. I need to know, I think Beth, I think you told me where you got your stickers. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Individual, shiny, sparkly stickers. And they say her website, www.dyingtoretire.com. All right, Stephanie, thank you so much for the dye bottles that you sent to me. It made my group dye session go much smoother. Here are a few goodies for you. Happy tie-dyeing, Beth. Thank you again, Beth, so much. And like I said, I'm really happy that the dye bottles did work out for you. I know it sure did help me out. Gave me a little more space to work with. So, all right, guys, like I said, don't forget, go check out Beth Lambert. You can find her in our Facebook group. You can find her on Facebook. You can find her on her website. I'm sure you can find her on the social media, Instagram, you know, all of that stuff. So go check out her work. It's beautiful. Thanks again, Beth. Now it's time for the fun part. We get to add the dye. And you can see where my inspiration came from. The shirt that Beth sent me is absolutely beautiful. And you guys, I was so wrong on the colors. Her shirt is a colander gravity dye, and she only used 2 colors. Can you guess which color she used? I had to ask her. She used jade green and amethyst, and I love that color combination. Some of you might remember last summer I actually made myself a shirt. I never make myself shirts. I always wear the rejects, but I made one just for myself, and it was an ice dye in the muck, and it was just jade green and amethyst, and I love that shirt. I wear it out constantly, and it's getting old now, so I have a new shirt. And Beth, I love my shirt. I wear it all the time, and I've gotten so many compliments on it. But when it came to choosing colors for my shirt, I studied the shirt and I chose colors that I saw in it. I mentioned lavender, so I chose lavender. And I see purple, so I went with some plum. Anyways, so I am inspired by Beth's shirt. Now, I'm adding my dye and I'm leaving a lot of white space in between my colors because I want them to have a chance to breathe. I want them to spread out and show us some splits. For the setup, I've created myself an ice barrier out of silicone cake molds, and I do have links for them down below in the description box, along with everything else that I use for tie-dye, so make sure that you check that out. So this is going to be flat on the rack, and I've propped it up by using empty dye jars. I don't want the shirt to be sitting down in the muck, and these racks are only maybe raised up about an inch if you don't elevate it somehow. And my old empty dye jars work perfectly. Now originally I was going to do 6 colors, but adding that extra white space, I was running out of room. So I made this piece of the pie a little bit larger, and then I'm going to just go in and beef up the plum. Next, I give the project a quick little sprinkle of soda ash for good measure, and I'm only adding the soda ash to the areas where I've placed the dye. No need to put it on the white. The white's already been soaked in soda ash. Now, when I made this shirt, my little nugget ice machine was broken, so I had to shift gears. So there is a method to my madness. So I want to control my ice, and when I use my procion ice, it's going to knock dye into my white, and I want it to stay put. So I'm using dollar store ice cube trays that I keep in the freezer, and I'm placing them around strategically. And then I'm going to come in with my big ice machine, the procion ice, and place that all over the project. I want that white area to stay white, but I do want some color bleeding in there, but I want it to happen organically, not because I have a bunch of dye that I've kicked into there with the ice cubes. I hope that makes sense. And then you might notice I sort of dig out the center of the spiral. There's no need to have all of your ice piled right up in the center, because the center is going to become muddy if there's too much ice. so I kind of scoop it out a little, focusing the ice around the edges. And then it's recommended that you let your project batch at 70 degrees or higher after the ice melts. And I can tell you this project batched for the full 48 hours. That just looks so beautiful. So it's time for the rinse out, and you want to start by using cold water. That's going to rinse away any soda ash that might still be reacting within the fabric, and then increase your water up to hot and rinse until the water runs pretty much clear. From here, I take it to the washing machine, and I like to do hot water cycles using Carillon, and Carillon is a professional textile detergent that I get from Dharma Trading Company. And then I like to do a final hot water cycle using Millsoft, and Millsoft is a professional fabric softener that I also get from Dharma, and the links are down below in the description box. And then I put it in the dryer, and I'll iron it, and we'll come back and we'll see the results. Well, here it is, guys. Here's our Beth Lambert Dying to Retire inspired spiral, and I think it turned out fantastic. I adore this shirt. So for those of you that follow along, you know that this is totally my color combination. So I did not use jade green, I used Aqua Marine, so that's the greener of the two blues, and it's gorgeous. It reminds me a lot of jade green. So if you don't have Aqua Marine, I think jade green's a pretty good dupe. The Bahama Blue is a little more turquoise, but even it has a little bit of green in it. And notice how keeping that white space did allow for the colors to breathe a little bit like I wanted it to. So you do see a little more of the color splits. For instance, in the lavender, you can see how it breaks down into those pretty soft, more pink tones. Now when it comes to amethyst, I don't know if you'd really say that this splits. For me, it's more like just diluted from the ice. It's like a softer shade of the amethyst. I think it kind of stays true. Now, difference in raspberry breaks into turquoise. That is an absolute split. Same with the plum. You know, plum does have some of the darker navy blues in it, but I don't know, it also just sort of seems diluted. But anyways, overall, I think this shirt turned out absolutely fantastic. I love it so much, and it's in my size, so if nobody snatches it up, I get to keep it. So I'm very pleased. What do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing.